I'll tell you right now, if I was driving that, I would get some funny looks. Meet Shant, a legend in the AMG restoration scene and one who takes his passion for the 80s very seriously. CMS Motorsports runs operations out of Marina West Autobody, a historic shop that has worked on Howard Hughes' vehicles since 1946. 8 years ago, Shant took over the business from his uncle and has devoted his time to restoring AMG icons to their former glory. Today, we head to Hagerty Garage Social to uncover the stories behind some of his restorations.
So this is pretty much the spread. This is just some of them that I have stored here.
These aren't for sale, these are just for you?
Yeah, this is just part of it. I have a little over 90 cars in my collection, and close to about 30 of them are Mercedes. So this is the latest one that I finished. This started out as a stock 1991 300 CE. We fitted it with the period correct AMG kit, the monoblock wheels. But this is pretty much the type of car that we work on. The car's original, the car's never been painted, and it's a very rare color spec. The door panels, the dash, the carpeting, everything's original. But this car turned out absolutely gorgeous.
I'm kind of speechless, honestly. I've just never seen a Mercedes like this.
There isn't very many of them around anymore. I mean, to find the clean 124 coupe is rare. You know, they were neglected for so many years. But this is the kind of car that I like to build. Everything mainly original, totally period, super crispy and clean in every aspect. Interior, exterior, engine compartment, just I go through all of it.
This is like the centerpiece, right?
So this is a one-of-one Koenig. This car I purchased from the original owners. I've done absolutely nothing to this car. It's the way you see it, is the way I bought it. They purchased the car as a European delivery back in 1985. It was originally a dark forest green with a tan interior. They were personal friends with Willie Koenig, so they drove it to Koenig and they designed a one-off body kit for the car. And Willie decided to paint it white because he figured green is completely losing, you know, all the characteristics of his body design. And when I purchased the car, there was all the original body kit molds that Willie Koenig sent to him when they took delivery of the car.
So you have the original molds?
I do. So if I need to ever replicate this body, every single piece I have the mold so I can recreate one. And he actually gave him 2 sets of bumper molds, one for Euro bumpers and US bumpers. This is the engine. It's basically just the stock 500. As you can see, it's still the original dark green in the engine compartment. This wagon I built for my wife. We found a 500E that a tree fell on that wasn't repairable, and I saved all the pieces. So we cut it all out, and we had it mocked up on this car and just kind of put aside. It's an original Imperial Red with black interior car, which is rare. It's a 94, which I backdated to an earlier version because I kind of like the big chrome grille, and I converted it to a wide body. But the back bumper on this car is out of a 500E, which I basically constructed from a wagon because this corner is different and the wagon has the taper in it. So this section of the bumper is off of the wagon. And as you can see here where I kind of spliced and welded the molding, from here forward is all 500E because Mercedes never made a 500E wagon. And most of the people that do the wide body conversions, they either go with the stock bumper or an AMG bumper. I wanted it to look like if Mercedes was to ever manufacture one, this is what it would be. This quarter panel is completely cut. Also, the fuel door on the wagon is on the side and the sedan is up here. So we basically cut the quarter panel and I welded the flare portion of it onto the car and basically remolded everything. This is off of a 500, the dogleg molding. So all of this is factory 500. We did a lot of fabrication on this car to make it look as original as possible. Yeah. And you can basically drive this thing cross country. It's like an amazing daily.
The interior is just, it's pristine.
Yeah.
I just can appreciate this so much. They all have that smell too.
They do, you know. So this is a 1000 STL. It's based off of a 420. Again, the car's totally original. It's been unpainted, super preserved. This is another car that Klaus actually built at CAC when the car was new in 1991. He didn't convert it to a 1000, but it has a rare Lorenzer kit on it. The owner wanted the AMG monoblocks instead of the Lorenzer wheels because he liked them better. The car's totally pristine. Like, the interior's original, carpets, the curtains, everything's the way it came.
This is how it came?
Yes.
So then the base vehicle from Mercedes was already expensive for its time.
Yeah, these cars in the 90s were about 80 to 90 grand.
Which in today's money
was stupid. I mean, you could have bought a house in the valley for 120 grand back in the early 90s. So this was practically a price of a home, just stock.
But then on top of that, after the modifications, it probably was up there over 100 easily.
You were spending close to 120 to 130. Like, from just the old catalogs and the old research, body kits, rims were about 15 grand. Then you had interior, you had suspension. So they were spending between 20 to 30 grand on these cars, upgrading them. And this is just non-AMG, this is just accessorizing them. Most of these came with AMG kits. This is a Lorenzer kit, which makes it a little rare. It is a US bumper car. It was sold at Beverly Hills Mercedes originally, and then literally sent over the Klaus down the street for him to upgrade.
What a survivor this thing is.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a low mileage car. The car has 130,000 miles on it. I mean, considering the age, it wasn't driven much, but it's not like a 20 or 25,000 mile car. But they just preserved it so well. You know, I love buying cars from original owners because they know what they paid for it when it was new, so they took care of it a little better. You know.
I see what you mean. Yeah, it was really kept in pristine condition.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost looks like there's no wear at all on a lot of the high-touch areas, too.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like, when these cars were new, if you were driving one of these cars, whether it was a Mercedes, BMW, or Porsche, like, you were someone. There was some kind of status there. Now, if you can afford $2,000 a month on a lease, you can practically drive any, luxury car you want to. But back then, it was like, from what I remember when I was a kid, you were either an athlete or a successful businessman or a drug dealer if you had something like this. That black CL, that's actually an early car. It's a 93, which is a 500 SEC. It was originally purchased by Shaquille O'Neal. That was his first big purchase when he got signed by the Orlando Magic. So when he was in an interview, he had mentioned this was his first big purchase, and this is actually a true AMG built car. Body kit, suspension, cams, exhaust. It's incredibly fast for what it is. It's a 500. And he kept the car for about 2 years And there's an interview where he mentions when he bought the car, he drove it home, and his dad fell in love with it so much that he went right back to the dealer and bought a matching one for his dad. So this particular one was his personally. He had AMG mold a custom 3-piece spoiler for it. It never came with the 3-piece ducktail. And it's an absolute blast to drive.
Hey, if you like what you're watching, do me a favor. Go check out the Hagerty Drivers Club. 24/7 roadside assistance with flatbed towing, subscription to our award-winning magazine, and more. Sign up today. Links right down here in the description.
Shant's passion for Mercedes-Benz not only fuels his quality assurance, but also adds to retro car culture like Radwood. Radwood is the best of the 80s and 90s. Pretty much anything older than 1980 or anything newer than 1999 is not welcomed. This is a car show for our generation, and it's highlighting the raddest cars.
This is a SGS Gowing, which I put my steel wide body kit on. This is one of 57 made. This was a complete car with 46,000 miles. This car was at Radwood many times, but I wanted to do something totally different. One was this, and the other one is pretty much a stock one. But this is basically our in-house wide body kit. As you can see how the lines are a lot more crispier. This is an SGS car. We're gonna make 5 final edition. This is usually a manual, like the DeLoreans. This is gonna get a full hydraulic system, open and shut. It's gonna get completely new electronics, the new drivetrain. So this is gonna be basically a fully optioned SGS and CMS car by next year.
Every one of these cars need to be displayed at Radwood when you're done with them.
Yeah.
Talk about a show made for you.
Oh yeah,
Holy cow.
I love that show, man. It's like when I first understood what they're doing, I instantly got a grin on my face. I'm like, that's perfect. Anything from the 80s and 90s era, just in general, aside from Mercedes, you see some of the coolest shit out there, like stuff that I haven't seen in years. It'll pop up. So it's truly one of the more special shows to be at, you know. But this one, when it was original and white with white interior, this was a crowd favorite, man. People used to pass by. I put like a briefcase with an old brick cell phone, and people just gravitate to this car, you know.
Maybe I have pictures of it from Radwood without knowing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I swear, I feel like I've seen something like this already. And you dress up too, right?
Oh, of course. Absolutely, man. Every year it's a different theme, and we go with like a group of people. I usually take 10 to 15 of my personal cars out there. We trailer them out, and it's just a great event.
It's easy to overlook the work that goes into reviving these vehicles. Because Shant sees his restoration business as one fueled by passion, he spends time on each and every one of his clients' builds. Next, we check out a restoration in progress.
This one belongs to a friend of mine. I'm building the car for him. This started out as a black on black 91, 80,000 mile car. The car was absolutely pristine before we cut it up. The wide body kit is a fiberglass kit, which we molded into the car. And with anyone that knows how to bond fiberglass to metal, it's quite difficult to make perfect.
It's like glass. It's so clean.
Yeah, it's not even done yet. It's in final assembly. Once it's all put together, then we're gonna color correct it and give it the final detail. But the car turned out absolutely flawless. The bumpers on the car are actually Series 2 Euro bumpers, which we went ahead and molded in the AMG spoilers.
And are you guys planning on doing some metal variants of this potentially in the future?
So we have it. We've already built 2 cars with the metal wide body, and the metal wide body we're manufacturing all in-house. It's all handmade on an English wheel, TIG welder. I mean, I'll show you some samples of fenders that we did. And the beautiful thing about molding it is we can widen it to the customer specification.
These wheels are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, so these are the OZ three-piece AMG wheels. These normally come in a 17 by 9 and 17 by 10 fitment. We rebarreled them to an 18 by 13 in the back and an 18 by 10 and a half in the front to accommodate the wide body. Because normally, even like the factory 6-liter wide body cars didn't come with an aggressive offset like this.
It's so weird to see a stretch tire on a Mercedes, but geez, it looks so good. The question is, how hard is it for you to be able to get new old stock or like refinished parts for a vehicle like this?
Well, it's virtually impossible to find anything new old stock unless you get lucky. Like, I have a warehouse full of parts that I've collected over the years that I use, but we basically take everything, we refurbish it, and we put it back. Right now, the problem we're having with some of the mechanical parts on these cars, they're virtually becoming impossible to find, like fuel distributors. There's companies that rebuild them, but they just never come out right. And keep in mind, when these cars were built, they were running different fuel. They require a little bit more octane to perform. That's why doing the swap, it eliminates everything. It eliminates all the issues, all the problems. You get more power. It's serviceable. I mean, I can take my car to any Mercedes dealer and have it serviced if it's having a check engine light or any type of issues.
I wanted to thank Shant for showing us around his incredible collection, and of course Hagerty for the tour.